he was asked about the expectations for Joe Schobert and if he lived up to them. And his response, I don't know if you got the direct response.
I'll try to find it
because I didn't want to misquote him. You know, I have what he said, it essentially the gist of it. But I just wanted to make sure I just, asking about the expectations for Joe Schobert.
Okay, I think I have it. I have it. This one's from Steelers Depot here. Let's see if we get this quote right. Yeah, here it is. I'm appreciative of his efforts. There were aspects of his game, obviously, that I wish were better. I guess that I could have that evaluation tone. Oh man, I'm getting pop-ups now. I guess I could have that evaluation tone about most anyone you ask about, but just in terms of anticipation, I don't know that I had a lot of anticipation because of the nature of this acquisition was what it was like. Is that all of it? That's pretty much it?
Essentially that, yeah. Because we were talking about anticipation or expectations, right? More importantly, for Joe Schobert. Now, this is my issue. He says he didn't really have any anticipation or expectations because of the way that he got here. Well, we know how he got here. You traded for him. Traded for him right before the season started. But you're not going to tell. A good trade, too. But this is my question. You don't have expectations for a gentleman. But the first day he gets here, the first day, not the second day, not the third day, the first day he gets here, you put him in the green dot helmet. For those that don't know, we've talked about the green dot helmet. That is the quarterback of the defense. That is what we wanted Devin Bush to be when he got here. The captain, the leader. He makes the calls, the checks, direct communication. They throw that on him, but say they didn't have any type of expectation, any type of, thoughts on it. So I'm just like, how do those two things work? Because I've never heard that before. I mean, could you imagine us bringing in a quarterback this year? Make him the starting quarterback day one, green dot, obviously, and all that stuff. And we're like, yeah, we didn't have any expectations. We didn't have any anticipation for it. We just, it just came here. We just threw him out there.
Like we brought in Jameis Winston. Actually, that's actually a decent comparison. Joe Schobert made a Pro Bowl. Winston's, I think, made a Pro Bowl. I don't know how. It's probably like 3 people dropped out. But yeah, you have expectations for Jameis Winston if he comes in. Being a veteran in the league.
It's like when you brought in Joe Schobert, don't act as if you didn't have expectations. We all did. You talked about the familiarity. You talked about how he's a been there, done that guy. You talked about how he's had success in the NFL, Pro Bowler. Now all of a sudden, because he underperformed and he didn't, live up to what we all expected him to be, now we had zero expectations. It was just, he just kind of hopped in here on a moving train. He just came here over. He got here. It's like, no, bro, like stop that. But when we talk about criticism, these are some of the things like, yo, you were wrong. You were wrong on show.
I think it was the right move to make, though, for sure.
It was at the time. It definitely was, man.
Like, who else are we getting for a 6th-round pick like that? That was pretty good.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Because we didn't have that. And at the time, it was
Spillane was struggling. Do you want to go Spillane and
Bush? Right. Spillane was struggling in coverage like we've seen. But either way, it's okay to when you ask about the expectations, like, you know what? Yes, he did not play to the level that we would have liked, but he still did some positive things.
Because he did do some positive things, especially earlier on in the season.
He definitely did, but we're not going to act like we didn't have expectations for the man when we for a fact did. He just didn't live up to it. Now, does this go back to personnel decisions, and does this go back to the organization admitting they made a mistake potentially? Sure. But once again, they don't allow themselves to do that. It's like they allow that pride to really just stick in the way at times. And it's just frustrating when you look around the league and you see that other teams, they do switch that a little bit. Like, I don't feel like every team is as locked in with some of these moves. Like Belichick, for example, right? I hate to bring him up because he's always brought up, but it's like, it's nothing to see them get rid of a guy that they feel is not performing well, regardless of where he was drafted, how much money he's accounted for, anything. It's like, if he's not playing well, they'll make that switch. Whereas with us, it's like we want to prove that we were right, even if it costs us. And I just don't like that, bro. I don't.
No, I don't
Rubs
either.
me the wrong way, if that makes sense.
You bring up Belichick. You can bring up former Steeler Bruce Arians. I mean, he's pretty much a straight shooter in all of his press conferences. I mean, you saw even with like AB. Picked him up. Why are you keeping AB after the vaccination stuff? Well, he helps the team. Oh, next week,
right?
He does this whole stuff where he throws his jersey and throws his gloves in the stands. All right, he's cut.
Yeah, and I'll say this also because I know people are probably like, well, hey man, you don't have to tell the truth to the media, and I get that you don't have to tell the truth to the media, but there's a difference between lying to the media and lying to your team. When you keep putting that guy out there, you keep telling your team that he's good enough. That's not lying to the media. That's lying to the team. Absolutely. And I said with Devin Bush, we said that with Kendrick Green. I said, man, if I'm on that team, you're telling me that this is acceptable. Forget what you're saying to the media. You're telling me that this play is acceptable for 17 weeks. You're not lying to the media. You're not lying to anyone else. You're lying to your team. You lying to that guy that's lining up next to him. That guy that's preparing. That guy that is executing. You're lying to him. You're not lying to the media. You're not lying to us. And that's why I just keep saying, why? Why are you doing this? I don't care what you're saying to the media. Why are you doing this? Because your actions are speaking. We're not just talking about your words, your actions.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah. And your action, like you said.
What's funny too is, what was it, Ben? Was it the day after we were done or something? He says Green's a guard.
He definitely.
You mean to tell me that he didn't have those sentiments from the start of the season?
Yeah.
And if Ben's thinking that, come on. I don't know why we wouldn't make the change.
Yeah, man.
I have no clue.